Is sex after 60 still possible? The honest truth. Let's get real. Imagine this. You're sitting across from your partner, the TV humming softly in the background. There's a moment, a glance, a touch that stirs something inside you. But then the doubt creeps in. Are we too old for this? What if my body doesn't cooperate? Does anyone even talk about sex at this age? Sound familiar? Here's the uncomfortable truth. We've been brainwashed. From movies to magazines, society sells us the idea that passion, desire, and sexual fulfillment have an expiration date, somewhere between retirement parties and grandkids. By 60, we're supposed to quietly age out of wanting or deserving pleasure. But what if that's all a lie? Why does the idea of sex after 60 feel so awkward to talk about? The invisible deadline. We've been conditioned to believe youth equals sexuality and aging equals its natural end. But who decided that? The shame factor. Admitting we still crave intimacy later in life feels vulnerable, like we're breaking the rules of aging. The fear of change. Bodies evolve. Arousal works differently. And that unknown can be terrifying if we don't have the right information. Here's what no one tells you. Desire doesn't disappear, it transforms. For some, sex becomes more meaningful because it's no longer tangled up in ego or performance. For others, intimacy takes new forms, slower, deeper, less about fireworks and more about connection. And yes, for many, health, hormones, and past experiences create real hurdles, but they don't have to be the end of the story. Police Garlight, the real question isn't, can you? It's, do you want to? Because here's the raw truth. Sex after 60 isn't about proving something, it's about choosing something. Choosing to reject the script that says pleasure has an age limit. Choosing to communicate, even when it feels awkward. Choosing to adapt, explore, and redefine what satisfaction looks like for you. So let's cut through the myths, the shame, and the outdated stereotypes. Your body may have changed, but your right to pleasure, intimacy, and desire? That's ageless. Speech balloon, tell me honestly. What's the number one thing holding you back? Fear? Physical changes? Not knowing where to start? Drop a comment. Let's normalize this conversation. Want the full, no-holds-barred truth? Watch the full video. We're going deep. The good news. Yes, sex after 60 isn't just possible. It can be better. Let's shatter the biggest myth first. Aging doesn't erase desire. It refines it. Think about it like this. Your 20s and 30s were like fast food sex. Urgent, impulsive, sometimes messy. But now? You're dining at a Michelin-star restaurant. The flavors are richer. The experience is intentional. And you finally know what you really like. Here's why sex after 60 can be your best yet. 1. Your body changes, but pleasure upgrades. Yes, things work differently now. But different doesn't mean worse. It means smarter. Slower arousal? Good. That means longer, more sensual foreplay, which studies show most women prefer anyway. Less spontaneous? So what? Planned intimacy builds anticipation, like waiting for a favorite meal instead of grabbing a snack. Need lube or a little help? That's not failure. It's just using the right tools, like reading glasses or a knee brace. 2. The pressure to perform? Gone. No more. Racing against the clock. Faking it to protect egos. Worrying about keeping up with some imaginary standard. Instead, sex becomes about connection, not competition. Many couples find their intimacy deepens because they're no longer obsessed with how much or how often, just how good it feels to be close. 3. Emotional sex, acrobatic sex. Young love is fireworks. Mature love? A slow-burning fireplace, warmer, steadier, and way cozier. You know each other's bodies intimately, no more fumbling in the dark. You've earned the right to say exactly what you want, no more guessing games. Sex becomes less about performance and more about presence, skin, breath, laughter, and the luxury of time. 4. Science is on your side. Women, postmenopause often brings increased libido for many, no more pregnancy fears, hormonal swings. Men, while ED is common, solutions are everywhere, from pills to injections to lifestyle tweaks. Brains matter more than ever. Arousal starts between the ears now. Fantasy, emotional safety, and mental stimulation are your secret weapons. The bottom line? Sex after 60 isn't about hanging on to youth. It's about stepping into a new kind of pleasure. One that's less frantic, more fulfilling, and entirely on your terms. So, are you ready to rewrite the rules? The real challenges, and how to overcome them, a deeper look. Let's be brutally honest. Sex after 60 isn't the same as it was in your younger years. Aging introduces real, sometimes frustrating, changes to your body and mind. But here's the crucial truth. These challenges don't have to end your sex life. They just require a new approach, one that prioritizes adaptation, communication, and self-compassion. 1. Hormonal shifts, the invisible game changer. For women, the impact of menopause. Menopause isn't just about hot flashes. It rewires your entire sexual experience. Here's how. Vaginal dryness and atrophy. Estrogen decline thins vaginal tissues, leading to discomfort, pain during sex, and even micro-tears. Solution. Water-based lubricants like Sliquid or Astroglide reduce friction. Hyaluronic acid moisturizers, e.g., Reverie, or prescription estrogen creams like Estrace restore moisture. Regular sexual activity, even solo, maintains blood flow and elasticity. Libido nosedive. Testosterone, yes, women have it too, drops, dampening desire. Solution. Testosterone therapy in low doses can reignite libido. Ask your doctor. Sensate focus exercises, non-sexual touch to rebuild arousal. Mental stimulation, erotica, fantasies, or new experiences to spark interest. Mood swings and fatigue. Sleep disruptions and irritability make sex feel like a chore. Solution. Prioritize sleep hygiene. Poor rest murders desire. Stress reduction techniques, yoga, meditation, balance cortisol levels. For men, the testosterone decline. Testosterone drops about 1% per year after 30, leading to erectile dysfunction, ED, less blood flow plus weaker erections. Solution. PDE5 inhibitors, Viagra, Cialis. Take 30 to 60 minutes before sex. Penile pumps or rings for firmer erections. L-arginine supplements, a vasodilator, for better circulation. Lower stamina and refractory periods. Recovery takes longer. Orgasms may feel less intense. Solution. Focus on pleasure, not performance. Slow down. Enjoy the journey. Cardio exercise, walking, swimming, boosts endurance and blood flow. Reduce spontaneous desire. You might not get randomly horny like before. Solution. Responsive desire. Arousal comes after physical touch, not before. Schedule intimacy, unromantic, but effective. 2. Physical changes. Working with your body, not against it. Joint pain and mobility issues. Arthritis, hip replacements, or back pain can make missionary position feel like a workout. Solutions. Side-by-side positions, spooning sex, reduce pressure on joints. Liberator wedges / pillows support hips and knees. Warm baths or gentle stretches before sex loosen stiffness. Slower arousal. It takes longer to get turned on and that's normal. Solutions. Extended foreplay, 20+ minutes of kissing, massage. Vibrators for clitoral stimulation or cock rings for men, enhance sensation. Body image struggles. Sagging skin, scars, or weight changes can trigger insecurity. Solutions. Low lighting, lingerie, or sensual fabrics shift focus to touch, not looks. Positive self-talk. Your partner desires you, not a photoshopped ideal. 3. Mental blocks, the silent desire killers. Societal stigma. Old people don't have sex. Ageist myths make you feel inappropriate for wanting intimacy. Solution. Reframe aging. Desire has no expiration date. Seek community, books, forums to normalize later life sexuality. Fear of failure. Performance anxiety worsens ED or dryness. Solution. Take penetration off the table. Explore oral. Mutual masturbation. Laugh it off. Sex is messy at any age. New relationships post-divorce / widowhood. Dating after decades can feel terrifying. Solution: go slow. Rebuild confidence with non-sexual intimacy first. STI tests, yes, seniors need them too. The bottom line: aging alters your sexuality, but it doesn't erase it. The key is educate yourself. Hormones, toys, meds. Communicate. Partners, doctors. Experiment. Positions, lube, pacing. Your sex life isn't disappearing, it's evolving. And for many, it becomes richer than ever. The unspoken truths about sex after 60, why these challenges aren't deal breakers. The reality is this: while aging brings undeniable changes to your sexual experience, none of these factors have to mean the end of intimacy. What they do require is a fundamental shift in perspective, a willingness to learn new rules for a new phase of life. Here's why these challenges are simply adjustments rather than endings. 1. Communication becomes your foundation. The single most important factor in maintaining sexual fulfillment after 60 is open, honest dialogue. Unlike in younger years when hormones often did the talking, mature sexuality thrives on clear communication. This means scheduling regular check-ins about physical and emotional needs, being specific about what feels good and what doesn't, discussing fears and insecurities without judgment, exploring fantasies you may have been too shy to mention before. 2. Foreplay transforms from prelude to main event. Where once foreplay might have been a quick stepping stone to intercourse, it now becomes the centerpiece of intimacy. This shift allows for rediscovering erogenous zones that may have been neglected, building anticipation that compensates for slower physical responses, creating emotional connection that enhances physical pleasure, allowing time for natural lubrication and erection development. 3. Lubrication is non-negotiable physiology. Vaginal dryness isn't a personal failing, it's a universal biological reality for postmenopausal women. The modern approach: keep multiple types of lube accessible, water-based, silicone-based, hybrid. Apply liberally and reapply as needed without embarrassment. Consider moisturizers for daily maintenance between sexual activity. Understand that needing lube is as normal as needing reading glasses. 4. Medical interventions are tools, not cheats. The stigma around sexual health aids persists, but the enlightened view recognizes ED medications restore function, not create artificial performance. HRT addresses hormone deficiencies, just like insulin does for diabetes. Pelvic floor therapy is physical therapy for your sexual health. These interventions often mean the difference between an active sex life and none at all. 5. Redefining what counts as sex. Moving beyond the penetration-focused model opens up new possibilities. Sensual massage and mutual masturbation provide pleasure without pressure. Oral sex becomes a satisfying main course rather than just appetizer. Skin-to-skin contact releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. Emotional intimacy during sex often leads to more powerful orgasms. The essential mindset shift is this: you're not losing your sex life. You're graduating to a more sophisticated, intentional version of intimacy. Where youthful sex was often urgent and automatic, mature sexuality tends to be more varied, emotionally rich, and creatively satisfying. The keys are adaptation, patience, and a willingness to explore new pathways to pleasure. This phase of life offers the opportunity to focus on quality over quantity, connection over performance, and mutual pleasure over arbitrary goals. The couples who thrive sexually after 60 are those who approach these changes with curiosity rather than resistance, seeing them as evolution rather than decline. Here's the radical reality no one is saying out loud: sex after 60 isn't about keeping score or proving anything. It's about something far more powerful: redefining intimacy on your own terms. The world wants you to believe that passion has an expiration date, that desire fades with wrinkles, that your sex life should quietly retire along with your career. But what if we've been looking at this all wrong? This isn't about what you're losing, it's about what you're gaining. The freedom to focus on connection over performance. The wisdom to prioritize pleasure over pressure. The courage to explore new forms of intimacy you never considered before. The confidence to ask for what you really want without shame. The most sexually fulfilled people over 60 aren't those clinging to how things used to be. They're the ones who've discovered this secret. Great sex at this stage isn't a younger version of yourself. It's a more authentic, more intentional, and often more satisfying experience than ever before. So let me ask you this. What if the best sex of your life isn't behind you, but ahead of you? What if this isn't an ending, but an exciting new chapter where you get to ditch the script and write your own rules? Discover pleasure beyond what you thought possible. Experience intimacy that's deeper than just physical. Finally, prioritize your desires without apology. Here's your challenge. Name one assumption about aging and sex that you're ready to question. Choose one new possibility to explore this week, a conversation, a product, a new approach. Decide right now that your pleasure matters, at every age. The floor is yours. What's the one thing about sex after 60 that you wish more people talked about honestly? Your truth might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Because here's the real secret. The only thing standing between you and a fulfilling sex life after 60 is the story you've been told about what's supposed to happen. What if you dared to write a different ending? Your turn, comment below. Let's start this conversation for real.